It is a beautiful morning here in Manitou Springs, Colorado, looking at Pikes Peak off in the distance from our hotel parking lot. Today we will share with you our visit to the beautiful Broadmoor Seven Falls and also to the Garden of the Gods, both located near Manitou Springs. Don't make the mistake we made going to the Broadmoor Seven Falls, and that's by driving first to the site. You can't park there. You have to go to the Norris Penrose Event Center to park. There's ample parking there. The day we went, there was another event, so it was a little crowded, but normally there should be plenty of space for you to park. From there, you take the free shuttle up to the Seven Falls location. The shuttles run frequently during operating hours, but tickets are not available where you get on the shuttle. You have to buy those either online or at the ticket office at the Seven Falls site. We bought ours online, saved them to our wallet, and when we got to the site, just got a wristband at the ticket office. We have our tickets. We are on our way to walk through the park. There are a couple of trail options at the park, and it's just under a mile to walk to the base of the falls, the main attraction in the park. It's a beautiful walk. There's a shelter along the way with a restroom, probably about 3/4 of a mile down the trail. The views are just spectacular as you make your way up to the falls. You walk alongside of a stream next to the main trail that comes from the falls, and there's a beautiful little shelter along the way where you can walk in, and if it's raining, I suppose duck in from the rain, and from here you can get a really nice view of the stream coming down from the falls. Looks nice and clean and cold. And then you arrive at the base of the falls. There's another shelter there. There is a little elevator to go up to one of the views. It was closed the day we were there for a couple of reasons. Otherwise you can take the stairs up to the top. Well, that looks like quite a hike, but it's not anywhere near the height compared to the hike coming up when you actually want to go to the top of the falls. You go by the restaurant and you can make reservations to eat there if you would like. There's also a gift shop close by. Again, beautiful, beautiful scenic views of the park. Walking by the restaurant, heading over to the main landing for the stairs to go to the top of the falls. Here again, you're walking by the stream next to the rocks. There's a glimpse of the stairs leading to the top of the falls. Get a better view of that once you get around the corner. And we are at the base of the falls. And there are the stairs. It is quite a hike, 224 steps. You can cut it in half if you take 2 steps at a time. I did that part of the way up. Looking back down the stairs to the shelter, and again at the views, you can see off in the distance another platform for viewing. We're following up the falls. You can see the water cascading down, making up the total of the 7 falls. And there is the hike up the ladder. Here we are halfway. Cross over the falls, you can look down into the stream down below, the falls going down, and here's another look at the stairs coming up. And once you're on top, it gets quite a bit more peaceful. There's a shelter there and a sign talking about the trails at the top. Beautiful trails to walk. We walk both trails. This is going up Inspiration Point Trail at the moment. One is a little bit longer than the other. Both of them are quite a hike, actually. Very peaceful. Very beautiful views from this vantage point up here. A lot of walking. We walked a total of 10.1 miles on this day here, combined with the visit to the Garden of the Gods. And the very top, here's another little shelter. Very interesting little place. So there are always places you can duck out of the weather if you have to. And this has a cute little sign on the other end of the shelter telling you it's the tuberculosis hut and the elevation. So we'll take a walk out to look at the view. And as we get to the fence, we notice down below there is a landing for a zip line. And there were people using the zip line. And as we find out, this is a separate thing you can get reservations for. There are several zip lines crossing the park in different locations. And there were people using it this day. We encountered them a couple of different times. There's one of the zip lines, the zip line that they were crossing. So if you like zip lines, that's available. Here comes someone else in from the group. Another view of the falls from up here. As you get further back in, you see the stream and the shorter falls, and then you head back down. And the walk back down is a lot less strenuous than the walk going up to the falls. Unfortunately, someone on top had a medical emergency that day that required a response from the emergency teams, which led them to block access to the falls. After that point, we were fortunate to get up there before that had happened. I don't know how long it took to clear out, but they had quite a few people to get that person off. So we took a look at the mountain elevator. Even though it was closed for going up to the top, there still were things to look at. There are displays on the shaft leading to the elevator. A lot of interesting things to look at. And then walking back to the bus area, to the shuttle area, you get a different perspective looking at the scenery going back down. Still beautiful views. We had a beautiful sunny day to do this. It wasn't too hot. And back down to the boarding area. That's the ticket office again. The shuttles are coming in on a regular basis, so we got on the shuttle and we headed back to the parking lot. It was on to our next stop, and that was the Garden of the Gods. The Garden of the Gods is located just north of Manitou Springs. We drove from the hotel following a route through the town on surface streets and got to a parking lot, an overflow lot that was full from another unrelated event going on there that day. That resulted in a little bit longer but reasonable walk from the overflow parking lot up to the visitor center past the signs leading up to the Garden of the Gods main location. The visitor center is a starting point of your tour through the Garden of the Gods with a lot of great information, like so many of the museums that we visited throughout our trip. Gives you a complete rundown of what you're going to be seeing, the history of the area, some of the important geological facts to look for when you're out there touring around. Interactive displays available. Those are always great. You get to interact and see different things, select what you want to look at. A lot of talk about the wildlife in the area, the fauna and flora that you're going to experience when you are there. And as most of the locations out west pays tribute to the Native Americans that lived in the area prior to the Europeans settling. Here we're looking at birds of the area. If you need a snack, there is a cafe available, and of course there is a gift shop that has to be visited to pick up a magnet for the trip and look at some of the interesting things they have on hand there. Very nice gift shop, a lot of stuff available, clothing included. If you need something for your trip, a good t-shirt, or just something useful when you're hiking around. So we spent a few minutes in there checking that out. Then I was out to the balcony that takes a look out over the area kind of a view of what you're going to be driving through, because most of what you need to see is accessed by car. And we'll talk about that in a bit, the excellent system they have for guiding you through the park to see all the different rock formations. And there's a sign up that explains what you are looking at off in the distance, including Pikes Peak off in the distance again. Everything is very well documented. You can see the overflow parking lot from here as well. You can see where that is in relation to the visitor center. There's one of the diagrams telling you what you are looking at off in the distance. A lot of beautiful views. As it turned out, there is ample parking right up by the visitor center. When we came in, the officer directing traffic immediately directed us to the overflow lot. There's a paid shuttle service available if you want to take that through the park, but we chose to drive through and use what turned out to be an excellent guidance system. You download their app to your phone, plug it into your guidance system in your vehicle, and using GPS, it guides you through and it prompts the system to explain what you were looking at each point along the route.
Connecting your device to the car's speakers and staying at or below the 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. The park is a little over 1,300 acres in size. There are several pull-out points to enjoy the scenery. Feel free to stop and take in the views when possible. Your tour will start again as you continue driving. For safety reasons, please never enter or stop in the bike lane at any time.
We made it into the parking lot here, the first one off the trail. It's a Saturday afternoon and the place is just packed. This is where we were several years ago, and we're going to take a walk through the trail. A lot of interesting sights here. It's a nice walk down to a restroom area and then down into the valley to take a look at the sights. The paved walkways are wide and very comfortable to walk on. We started out going by the information board. It never hurts to stop and take a look at see what's going on in the park that day, or important information that you should have when you're in the park. Continue walking by the large rocks. And walking around different corners, things are hidden back away. Here's a little gathering area. A rattlesnake warning. You don't want to get off the paved trail because there are rattlesnakes out there. Lots of kids there, people playing. Walk through this little divide in the rocks. There's a close-up of that divide. Again, beautiful day, sun was out, light clouds. Dedication sign there in the park. It's sometimes hard to remember that this park is situated in a semi-urban area, as noted by the houses on the ridge in the background. We hop back in the vehicle to continue our drive through the park to check some of the other areas. The information being provided by our guide.
Canyon wrens, and many more. Keep a lookout for our local family of common ravens. They're often perched on top of the smaller rock formations next to the upcoming scenic pullout. The scenic pullout is labeled parking lot number 3 and will be on your left at the top of this hill. In 1935, the Civilian Conservation Corps, also known as the CCC, introduced and planted Rocky Mountain juniper trees in the park. These trees help control erosion and provide habitat for wildlife. They're from the ancestral Rockies that eroded away 300 to 320 million years ago. The rock on your left is known as Steamboat Rock.
After exiting the park, we made the quick drive back to our hotel where we got organized and went out, grabbed a bite to eat, because the next day we'd be packing up and heading towards Cortez, crossing the infamous Wolf Creek Pass, which was an adventure in itself. Be sure to catch our Day 5 video to see how that journey went. Thank you for joining us with this recap of our Westward Ho Day 4 stop at Manitou Springs, Colorado, with our walk through both the Seven Falls Park and the Garden of the Gods. Both very beautiful places with a lot of fascinating information. And the day we were there, the weather was just gorgeous. So if you like hiking and you like geology, those are a couple of places you'll be sure to want to include in your travel plans if you're going to be traveling through the American Southwest. If you like today's video, please click like and consider subscribing to our channel because we'll be releasing more videos on our full 25-day Westward Ho adventure. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, day 5 is coming up, a drive to Cortez, Colorado, which was very interesting as we crossed the Wolf Creek Pass. We've crossed that before, and every time we do, it's kind of interesting, and this time was a particular challenge, so you want to be sure and tune in to catch that. And by subscribing, you'll see when all the rest of the videos are released. If you are planning on doing some traveling, we hope this gave you some ideas. Enjoy your travels, and take care.